I'm about to step into the frame.
Mm-hmm. Redirecting YouTube as soon as it redirects. I'm going to click it out because we don't need any echo in the background. Certainly don't need that.
Is the light too bright, do you think? Do you think I should dim it some? Is that better? Dim it some more?
That is.
Yeah, no.
Come on.
Yeah. This is the move. Okay. I wanted to at least look like a try. Yes. It's so slow.
All right, it's up. Live stream is up. Don't worry, recording has not started yet.
Okay. Why are we
Computer's
so
being a little slow.
Oh wait, where is the link?
Come on, come on. I'm gonna click it out because we don't need any echo in the background. Certainly don't need that. All right, I haven't hit the record yet. I'm just waiting for
Do you think I should dim it some?
Come on, come on, come on. It's 8:02. Please work with me.
Wait, is the link on? Wait, what?
If you go to my YouTube page, it'll come up. Just look up K the Creator, and it'll show that we're live. But
I'm already on it.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I see it now. I see.
Yeah, click that out. Close the program. Jesus, Microsoft Edge. All right, I'm gonna ready to hit the record in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are. Wait, no, we're not. Oh, computer. And we're live. Where does Bonto La for real this time?
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another riveting, wonderful, splendid episode of Kareem Talks. It is Sunday. It has been a crazy week. It has been 1 year, a little over a year, since the pandemic has hit us. 1 year. But we're not here to talk about that, all that doom and gloom. We're here to talk about people who've been able to thrive amidst the pandemic and get that money.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's
so
true.
Without further ado, allow me to introduce to you the co-owners. Well, it's co-owner because I believe your daughter / your niece owns a part of the company as well.
Yes.
So
we're
co-owners, 2/3 of YKR Elite. Give it up for my guests, Kareemah and Rachel Muhammad. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
So glad you all can be on. How are you all doing? By the way, I would like to say if there are any technical difficulties, we're working through them. Please bear with us. Thank you so much. Hold on. Mic check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you. You're slightly choppy again as far as picture, but we can still hear you clearly.
Comcast, what can you do?
Let me see really quickly. Hold on 1 second.
Because I'm corded up. I'm on the Ethernet signal, so. Because you all look clear now.
We're clear now?
Yes.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
These things happen here at Kareem Talks, but we're here to work through those things. We can't let one little thing get us down. Share, got to work through it. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in, and to those of you who have not. And it seems that we're back. Are we back?
Can you hear us and see us?
Yes.
Okay, great. It just reconnected us for some reason, but hopefully it's better now.
All is well.
All is well.
All is well. All is well that ends well. So before we were rudely interrupted by bad internet, Comcast is Satan, get AT&T. How are you all doing?
We're hanging in there.
Yeah, hanging in there. Pretty good. Surviving, A lot is grateful, so.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then we can begin. Whoever wants to start first.
Okay, I'll start. So I am Kareemah Muhammad. Like Kareem said, co-owner of YKR Elite Hair Care, a hair salon in Midtown in Atlanta. I am mommy to an amazing 2-year-old, which is the third. She's the Y in YKR, Yara, and she's just wonderful. And I think the reason that, the reason that I would say that I got into this business specifically is because I really am passionate about the beauty industry and what I feel can be done in the beauty industry and how we make people feel and kind of what we do for their hair and what that can do for their life overall. So it's something that I'm pretty passionate about, which is why, even though I am not actually a licensed cosmetologist, I saw that my sister had a gift and I wanted to support it. And I really believe in her gift so much that that I thought that it was appropriate for us to open this salon together, and anything that she does not do, like anything but the hair, is everything that I do. So all the boring stuff, all the fun stuff, but I definitely love every second of it.
That is beautiful. All right, Rach, you're up.
Most of the seconds of
I'm like, did you really?
Your turn.
Okay, I'm Rachel. I am part owner of YKR as well. I am the only stylist that we have right now.
Right now, y'all building.
Y'all bookmark that, note that, put that to the side.
Okay.
So I'm the only stylist for YKR right now. I've been doing hair, this coming October will be 8 years professionally. I moved to Georgia to go to cosmetology school. That is like the primary reason. So yeah, I've always wanted to own a salon. I didn't really see it happening at the time that it did. But I had some other circumstances at other places of employment that kind of gave me that boost to just go forward and start looking for places and researching what I needed to do. And in less than a year, YKR was born. So I was actually kind of surprised that Kareemah was so like, okay, let's do it. Like, not just the I support you thing. Like, this is a team group effort and we're going to go for it. So
that is absolutely wonderful. That is beautiful.
Yeah. Anyone who knows we do everything together anyway. So it's only natural that our first entrepreneurial venture of this size would be together. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Salon Sister. See? I was woke when I came up with that title.
You were onto something.
Yes. All righty. So let's get into the nitty gritty. Our topic is our topics, plural, are
right.
Of course, how you all got started, the mental issues in being an entrepreneur, the mental issues that come with that. And of course, you mentioned to me setting your value, your price.
Yeah.
And that was a very big one for you. So, of course, we want to start off with the humble origin story, although you all have summarized it basically. So how exactly did YKR come about, the name and everything?
So just being as transparent as possible, right?
Value that.
I was working in a blowout bar, which is a form of a salon. It's more like of an express service. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
like really break down what that is. But I was working in a blowout bar and making, I think at the time I was still making $9 an hour. Pretty extensive hours. And I don't want to skip over anything, but also don't want to like drag it out. So basically what happened is I was at work one day, and this was not the first time that something like this has happened. There was an issue with a client. She was late for her appointment. They have a strict policy about being late and, you know, how they go about it and still servicing the client, but also not overworking us, meaning making me late for my next appointment or cutting into my break time, which by law we are supposed to have, right? So I was owed a break and the client was late and I hadn't had my break all day. So I was not supposed to, it's a Saturday night.
9-hour days or something like that.
Yeah, so I was not supposed to, based on our policy, still take her, right? So basically what happened is my boss, she was not like rude about it, or we didn't get into it like an argument or anything, but she basically was in favor of the client. And
cut. The customer is always right.
Yeah, it was more so like the client was just having like a bad day or something. And she was like, well, I don't want to lose a client. And in my mind, I'm like, I get it. You know, I get not wanting to lose a client, but not at the expense of the fact that I've been working back to back to back to back with no chance to sit down, get a sip of water, and I'm owed my break. You know what I mean? Not only am I owed my break, I'm not just looking out for me. She violated the policy and was late for her appointment.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is that very day, when I was finally finished with her and whatever, I was still, mind you, I'm heated this entire time, but I have in this profession, not even just doing hair, but any customer service type of job, you have to have the ability to put on some kind of face to get you through it. Okay?
Yeah.
And you can cuss them out, talk bad about them, you know,
once you get to,
once they're gone, once you get them out the door.
Yeah. So I went into the break room, and I'm honest to God, this is how it happened. I went into the break room, I pulled up a chair, I sat down, I pulled up another chair, propped my feet up, and started Googling salon suites that very night.
Yeah.
On the clock, I started Googling salon suites. The next day, I went to Starbucks, got myself a little drink, sat outside, had my little notepad, and I started calling salon suites. And I set up about 3 to 4 tours at that time. I hadn't even told Kareemah that I'd done this. I just set them up. And we had talked about it, but we was only like in passing, you know, here and there, you know what I mean? So, but that night, that kind of just pushed me like, you're, you know, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, I guess.
And we had talked about it, but I basically told Rachel, like, well, I didn't tell her, but I was waiting for her to kind of make the first move and take that initiative, because I have always wanted to be a salon owner, not necessarily a hairstylist, but I was like, she's going to be the one doing the work. She's going to be the person in here dealing with, our wonderful, wonderful clients and everything. So I was just like, I don't want to be the person who goes through all of this stuff to get us there. And then you realize like, I don't really feel like it.
Yeah.
So I wanted her to be sure that that was a move that she wanted to make and that she was ready to make before, you know, I kind of endorsed it.
Yeah.
She came home. Yeah. Literally the next day she had told me, I like this place, I like this place, I like this place, potentially. I've set up a couple tours with so-and-so and so-and-so. And then I believe by the next week, because the salon suites where we ended up, they were like on vacation or something at the time. So we had to wait until the next week, or one of them that we toured. Yeah. And so we took our tours the next week, literally had our niece visiting us for spring break and everything. and we were
And
going
Yara
on
was
tours.
with us for every tour.
Yara went with us on every tour, and she helped us choose where we ended up.
Yeah, we love to tell that story because she behaved very well when we came here, and her temperament was very good, and she really vibed with Rob, who's the owner. The one that we went to just before we came to see Rob, or after, she was not feeling it. That guy was trying to talk to her. She had the nastiest attitude, and it could just be maybe she was having a bad day, but that was kind of our, when we thought about it after we left here, we were like, we should go with there because we thought about Yara's temperament here, and she loves being here.
And her temperament in all the places that we went to, and some of them were like, so. Some of them I couldn't even fit her stroller through the hallway, and I was like, this is probably not for us, because if I come here, I'm gonna have to bring her, and at the time she was smaller. So yeah, that was like the defining factor of where we started. How we started, we actually just saved up as much as we could from Rachel's job and my job. Actually, no, I didn't have a job.
Yeah, Kareemah wasn't working at the time.
I was stay-at-home momming at the time.
That's why I was so, I felt comfortable just setting up the tours, because I'm like, she's not working anyway.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing on Monday and what time.
So I was actually stay-at-home.
But it worked out for the tours.
I was stay-at-home momming at the time. Rachel saved up as much as she could. And then we kind of, I guess you could say, we did some crowdfunding. We set up one of our Cash Apps to be like the YKR Cash App, and people started sending us donations, and we were working on getting the deposit and everything for the suite. And at the time, also Rachel had been building up a clientele. She had built a clientele that has honestly been with her for a few years now. And they were just like, when are you going to get in your own space? We need you to be in your own space, because doing hair out of your apartment is not really always as simple as doing it out of a place that's literally set up for you to do hair out of. So it was like doing that was too difficult. Doing house calls was a lot. So we saved up as much from Rachel's monies as we could. We had clients, family, friends, so many people donate.
Which I gotta touch on that real quick.
Whether it was a little bit or a lot. And it was really hard for us to ask.
That was a very humbling part of this process.
We did not,
because we didn't plan. A lot of people don't plan this stuff out and make these kind of moves for like 2 years. You know what I mean? So especially if you're trying to go into business with someone who isn't working and doesn't have money saved. Okay. Somebody like another set of people might have handled this differently and maybe waited until Kareemah had a job and had more going on to contribute.
There was a lot of faith walking.
Yes.
A lot of faith walking.
We had an idea. It was one of those 100% dissatisfaction for 100% change. So it was that's the quote, right? I don't want to misquote.
Yes.
You got it. 100% dissatisfaction brings about 100% change. You got it right on the head.
That's why that night, and of course, you do things out of frustration and anger and being ticked off, but that being frustrated and being angry is healthy, depending on how you allow it to, depending on how you channel it, how you use it. And I use that anger and frustration to, instead of just lashing out and not behaving properly at work or causing a scene, I was like, you know what? No, you know what I mean? I just started looking up places and went from there. But we kind of just had the idea, and there really wasn't a ton of planning. We had the thought, we looked at the places, we chose a place, and we're just like, whenever they open those doors, we're gonna start. But we had to figure out how we were gonna get the money, and we were like torn because it's like, who starts a business and asks people for donations? Like that screams broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you doing this? But we had a lot of support, and we had to kind of just humble ourselves. Like, we weren't given the vision for no reason.
So I want to say a couple things here, because this is actually, faith walking is a perfect segue into the first thing that we want to talk to you about. I want to say this though. I feel like that night for Rachel was an awakening. It was, this is not what I'm meant to do at this capacity. This is not what Allah has for me, or this is not all that Allah has for me. And it was an awakening in her to open herself up to the blessings that that we had to come.
Yeah.
And so literally, and then even then we were like, oh, we don't know what we're doing.
It was a reminder of my worth too.
Exactly. It was like the client is not, it's not okay to value a client over yourself as a human being. Even in our salon, we value our clients and we try so hard to accommodate them in every way possible. But we also have the power now to say, hey, we value you, but not more than we value ourselves. And that's okay. And we wouldn't ask anyone to value us and our business and our salon over them valuing themselves or themselves. So it not only was it an awakening to like step out on faith, but once we stepped out on faith, we were like so afraid, and it started falling away little by little because we found a place that we liked. We loved the place that we looked at, and we were like, y'all don't have exactly what we want here. It's a beautiful facility, everything is amazing, you have everything what we want, but you don't have the exact kind of suite that we want. They said, oh, well, we're opening a new location, so all you have to do is put this little bit of money down to hold your spot. This other location will not be open for a few months. And so we were able to reserve a space and then have months before we were financially obligated to pay for the space because it was still being built.
Look at the guy.
Right. So and then even moving into the space, we were like, oh my gosh, we're so scared that we're not going to make enough money. First week out the gate, made like 2 times what the rent was. Now, granted.
Woo!
But wait, the catch was this: we weren't aware of the prorated situation, so we're like, "Oh my god, our first weekend, we made the first week, we have some left over for the next week." A joke,
because we were already having to pay twice the rent when we got there. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, we made it happen.
One of those
we're
little
still
lessons.
Here. So
God was like, hold on. Slow your roll for a minute.
No, yeah. It was like, oh, we out here, and then it was like, actually, you said you want how much money? You said you debited my account. How many 100s? That's not. And then we literally read it again. We were like, oh yeah. We were like, how do we miss that?
I sent it to Kareemah. I was like, wait a minute, this not right. This isn't right. And then she thought about it, and I thought about it. We was like, oh
yeah.
And the math was just like.
And then the funds were
run me my funds.
But it's still, we had to like, celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
The silver lining, which is that we made it. Because what if we didn't make that money? Then we wouldn't have had the prorated amount. So we still would have been.
We wouldn't be here right now.
Exactly.
Right. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful.
The first thing that we're gonna really get into with you guys is about how to trust your process.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where we're starting?
Yeah.
That's where well, don't get too much into it, because we got like.
Oh, you're right. 6
minutes. We already like 30 minutes. You know what? We kind of started a little late, so I'll extend it to 8:35.
Okay.
So go ahead. Go for it.
So we'll just touch on the first part of this, the how to trust your process, because everything that we literally just talked about, there was a lot of trust and a lot of faith involved in that. A lot of trust that it was going to be okay, even though some days it did not look like it was going to be okay. Even leading up to the absolute day that we were able to get the keys and everything, we were just like, what are we doing? This is crazy. But there's a lot that has to go into actually just trusting that it's even going to be okay for you. And like you said, a lot of walking in faith and not fear. And so the reason we say specifically trust your process, right, is because I don't know about Rachel, but I fell into this a lot a few years ago when the push on social media was crazy, be an entrepreneur, do for self, be out here starting businesses, this, that, and the other. If you don't have the money, no problem. If you don't have resources, no problem. Just do it. And I was just and then everybody was like, trust the process, trust the process. I was like, yeah, trust the process. I can get behind that. We're trusting the process, we're trusting God, right?
Mhm.
And then it got a little tricky because I was looking at other people's processes. And I was like, which process am I supposed to be trusting? Because mine don't look like that. So I think it's really important to choose your words and choose your words carefully, and especially when you're speaking to yourself. And I now say I'm trusting my process, I'm trusting our process, because it can get really tricky when you see so many different businesses, especially in your same industry, starting at the same time as you, even. And maybe your growth is different. Maybe you're doing different things. And so our advice to people is always trust your process, because you can look at us and you can say, oh, well, they didn't really have any money when they started out and it worked for them. Yeah, but Rachel had a job that she did not immediately leave. I got a job.
Story, left and now I'm back there.
Right. Only one day a week, but still, like, things fluctuate when you are a business owner. And so you have to know how to trust your process and go with the flow with it. A lot of people are going to say, I woke up today and decided that this is what I wanted to do. And I quit my job and I emptied my savings and I started my business and I am a multimillionaire now. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. And then I'm like, okay, if I quit my job and I liquidate my savings today, my baby might not eat. I mean, like, she's got her dad, we have family and a support system, but like, I'm not saying
you gotta do what makes sense for you.
Yes.
You have to.
So like,
everybody ain't got it like that. And
okay.
Fun fact, those guys didn't become a millionaire overnight. They always omit that part.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
And that is one of the reasons, like, I think when I posted for our 1-year anniversary of opening the salon, I was extremely transparent in that post. Honestly, I could have been more transparent, but I ran out of characters. For the caption.
Rachel is the transparent queen. Yeah. She's a Pisces. She gonna speak her feelings. She gonna speak her heart.
I gotta let it out. Okay. I gotta get it off my chest. But that right there, what you just said, like how people don't become successful and millionaires or whatever overnight, that is the reason we decided from day one that we were gonna we have not started our YouTube channel or half the stuff we were supposed to start. But when we do get to talking about it, we made a decision early on, an agreement, that we were going to be transparent and open throughout the process. Because a lot of times what we see is like, oh yeah, 5 years ago, I was homeless and now I'm flying private jets. What happened in between time? Because you didn't just go from homeless to flying in a private jet.
You missed the journey. You see the
what
destination.
Happened to you? Did you post about you couch hopping? Did you talk about the times where you went without food? Did you talk about the times where you didn't have a car or you were sharing a car, which that's our story. Like, what? Like, you're skipping over all of that, and then you wrap it up. Trust the process. What was the process, and is your process going to be like mine? You know what I mean?
Right. So definitely do not be out here comparing your process to others, including your successes.
Okay.
Go ahead. Don't you be hiding nothing from our viewers now. Come
on. But no, like, you just don't want to be comparing your process and things to other people, especially not your successes, because I realize that sometimes you cannot celebrate your successes because you're like, oh, well, it's not quite what it should be, or you're thinking that it's not quite the same as somebody else's. So basically, just, you can be inspired by people, but don't get carried away to the point where you're feeling like they are the absolute benchmark and absolute guideline for how your journey as a business owner should be. The goal can be the same, but just understand that everybody's got a different way to get there. And you kind of have to trust in the way that you're getting there.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wonderful. What were the mental stresses, the hurdles that you all had to jump, the marathons you all had to run in order to keep your business functioning? Of course, we can talk about finances all day, but that it's a really a mental exercise in getting through, what it means to be an entrepreneur.
I'm gonna let you go first because you're the one who's more like mind and body in this business.
So, okay, well, I'm gonna start by
we got 4 minutes, so you don't have to cover all of it, but you can do like a little something.
Okay, you just triggered like a thought. I posted something on Instagram yesterday. I can't remember what it said. It was something along the lines of money not being the goal, but getting to a point where, what was it?
I didn't see it.
I can't remember what it was, but it was just basically, I could just, okay.
I don't watch Rachel's story.
I didn't want to pull it up because I didn't want to be rude, but.
It's all right. This is, Kareem Talks is a safe space, isn't it? Am I wearing a suit?
No, you are not.
You're not, but you're wearing your fantastic.
Okay, here it is.
You're wearing your fantastic merch that people should purchase, though.
Nice. It says building wealth building wealth is not exclusively about money. It's about who you get to be when you don't have to worry about money all the time. Yeah. So the thing for me, and I'm gonna try to like condense this, right? The thing is, of course, like money is. It should not make you happy. You know what I mean? It should not make you a peaceful person. But the amount of, I feel like, because this is just the world that we live in, we can't avoid it at this point. There's a connection between your mental health, your emotional health, spiritual health, and finances. And it's been a constant battle between of balance, because of course you need money to survive, buy food, pay bills, yada yada, right? And then everybody's like, oh, you got to be happy with what you got, you got to find peace in the midst of it. And it's just like, but wait a minute, how am I supposed to have peace of mind and my lights are off? How am I supposed to have peace of mind and my car is about to be repossessed? How am I supposed to have peace of mind? And, and it affects your peace of mind and just your energy and how you conduct yourself, especially in business. When your mind is like clouded, it's very difficult. It can affect how you make money. Because let's say I'm going through all these life stresses, right? And I got a nasty attitude. Who's going to want to come sit in my chair?
Nobody.
You see what I'm saying? So like, if I'm out here with a nasty attitude, I'm talking to people all crazy, I'm always late, or I'm canceling at the last minute, or because I'm so depressed, which that's a whole nother fact. I don't even think we're going to get into that today. But like, I can't get out of bed, and I'm not coming to, service my clients. Then I'm really not making the money, which is just a constant cycle, because you know what I mean? Like, I'm stressed out, so I'm not performing properly. So me not performing properly makes people not want to come, which means they're not spending money. So it's just an ongoing cycle. So what? Okay. So yeah, it's hard for me to like separate the two, because I know that, like I said, you shouldn't be, oh, I'm happy because I have a lot of money, or money in general, just able to, handle your daily life things. But I don't know. I feel like the financial part for me played like a huge role, because like I feel like a lot of our lives was like riding on this business. It still is, actually.
Yeah.
So the amount of anxiety that gives me, out of this world, because not to say that we can't call it a wrap and pursue something else right now, but what's the point? You know what I mean? We're in very deep. We very much so invested, and it is something that we genuinely want to do.
Yeah.
So don't just quit and throw in the towel, because it's extremely hard. We have to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And if I don't keep pushing and I don't keep investing and taking classes and elevating the business and increasing prices or whatever, like, we're not gonna
biggering and biggering.
Biggering and biggering. We love that.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to like. Hopefully that made sense.
It does. It did.
that's a whole hour-long conversation.
That it is. You can nest it pretty well. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back with Kareem Talks. I'm going to share my screen. Da, 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 da.
We're gonna have a sip of water.
See that lovely wallpaper? I will be selling wallpaper soon. Stay tuned.
Very cool.
Gonna have to mute. Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening. Peace, ashe, and assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Kareem of Kareem Talks. You know, that wonderful podcast you're listening to? But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about aretheywoke.com, a website that was built by my uncle to house conscious clothing as well as conscious branded merch, such as How to Eat to Live, and 1,000 facts about the Negro. But let's get back to this wonderful looking clothing that allows you to define who you are. We have things for the men, we have things for the women, we have things for the children, and it's all conscious oriented merch. So I'm telling you, as someone who owns a hoodie, and it's a comfortable hoodie by the way, go to aretheywoke.com. Ladies, get you a queen shirt. Brothers, come get you some of this merch. That I'm telling you, it's conscious oriented, it's comfortable, and you're going to love it. Peace. That's one of them.
Hi, my name is Raiden Scott.
My name is Yasmin. It's Jamari X. Allen.
Go to the Homeschooling Society.
Go to the Homeschooling Society. I attend the Homeschooling Society.
Greetings. My name is Sabbath Muhammad, founder, owner, and CEO of the Homeschooler Society, LLC. Here at the Homeschooler Society, we pride ourselves in bringing full and complete understanding to all of our students. Our method is simple, not moving on until the child fully understands. I do what I do as an educator because I remember when I was in elementary school, middle school, and high school. I remember teachers and educators not showing as much care and patience as they could. This widespread way of teaching drives me to do what I do.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are interested in purchasing a commercial pack from Kareem Talks, please visit my IG at Kareem Talks on IG. We have the $6 pack for a week. We have the $18 pack for 3 months. We have the $60 subscription. So if you are looking to have a one or more commercials, please visit at Kareem Talks on IG. Also, go to welcome-to-kareemtalks.com. Merch. I know it's the summer. I have shirts. You don't have to buy hoodies. I have caps as well. But enough about that. We're back. So, the other question.
We have a question.
Yes, the other question I have, I'm supposed to be asking you all so much, but usually when the subject gets so deep, into it, and then it's more for the viewers, The less questions I have, you may have addressed something I was going to ask already, so.
For sure.
But and then you've all already addressed sort of the mental issues and of course how you all got started. But when did you start to establish your value and your worth when it came to your prices for your customers, and whatnot, because I know that's a big thing. That's a huge thing, trying to make the prices fair, but at the same time, this is a business. You need to meet your bottom line. Otherwise, lights go out. Car note can't get paid. Yard can't eat. You get evicted. Or
Right.
your house get repoed.
That's what I hate about it. Yara's always gonna eat. It's us. Yara is good and it is good. She's taken care of. It's the Kareemah and Rachel. I'm like, do I look like I should be missing meals out here? Because I shouldn't be.
It's real though.
I think that starting out, we were trying, like you said, trying to be really fair. One of the things that kind of had it a little tricky for us when we first started out is because we didn't only intend to have only Rachel in here. So we actually started out kind of bigger than expected. And we got a double suite. So basically we got 2 salon suites that were connected, and we had an awesome friend subleasing from us on the other side. And we didn't really know what we were doing. So if our rent was one price, she wasn't even paying a third of it. So it kind of was pointless. But we were like, oh yeah, we want her to be able to build up her clientele because, you know, she's building her business still. This will be her first time being in her own space. So we want to be supportive and helpful. But, you know,
she's extremely thoughtful and considerate, which is nothing wrong with being thoughtful and considerate. But at the time, it was not the time for that. It was not the time. It was like
us trying to be on this level and like lift her up. But we were both at this level.
Yeah.
And we were trying to lift ourselves and her up to this level by being really overly reasonable, really unreasonable with the price. Our prices, we kind of, for our clients, we kind of tried to compete a little bit with what was going on in the area and be a little lower because we're like, we want people to book. We just need butts in the chair always. That's what we need. And so I think for us, once the lease was up for our friend, which actually happened to be kind of in the height of the pandemic and like lockdown and everything last year, it was really, really weird because we were trying to figure out, we had to be closed. We were mandated to be closed for a while. And we tried to see if she was going to want to come back, basically, when we reopened. But I think that we reopened a little soon for a lot of people. And so she wasn't comfortable coming back yet. So she chose to go with a different space when she did go back to work later. And so we had to find somebody else to lease the other side of our suite. And when we did that, we were like, okay, this is when we meet. This is our time. We've got a little bit of downtime in between her and the next person. And we need to consider how much we're going to charge for this side of the suite. Because again, we want it to be reasonable, but before it was just like us thinking with our hearts. And when you're in your business, when you're in business mode, you got to think with your mind. You got to do those numbers, right? Like you got to crunch the numbers and you're like, that's not adding up. So it's a no.
And that doesn't make it inconsiderate or unfair or anything. No. It just is what it is.
Because you can be compassionate from your brain too. Yeah. But your brain is going to give you compassion with reason, logic, and responsibility.
We're so sorry, but the numbers say we cannot hire you. At this time.
It's numbers. It's not us.
It's the numbers. But no, we had to really consider. We were like, okay, what's this person's clientele like? What's this person's following like? So we ended up getting another person in the suite that was, you know, she was cool with paying the new price that we had set. Obviously, it was just the price to her. She didn't know that it was.
Again, we're gonna need a whole nother separate day.
We're not even gonna talk about that situation.
Yikes! Big
she was here for about a month. out of her 6-month lease, and she up and left, and with no notice, and actually put us in a whole other bind that took our business from here to here. Literally, Rachel quit her job. She left her job because we were finally like coasting, we were getting better, because we had finally started charging the worth of the other half of our suite, and it was helping with the rent and everything. But literally right after Rachel quit her job, she left. So we hate to see it, but
It'd be like that.
Which led us to
downsizing. We had to downsize. So we are now only a single suite. So we learned a lot in the process of not charging enough. So we actually just had a recent price increase, actually, probably like literally less than a full week ago. Because for a while, and I also have been very heavy on charging your worth to Rachel, even before we had this suite, because she was doing house calls for people that are worth like $100, and she was doing them for like 60, 70. And I was like, that's gotta stop. I made her I made her a fixed rate for miles, because like we're not doing it by how long you're sitting in traffic, we're doing it by how many miles you're going. What is your traveling charge for this, that, and the other? So I've always been really big on charging your worth, but I guess once we were in this new space, I didn't know how. So some of the things that we have to do to determine how to charge our worth is identify that you're actually, first of all, identify what good quality is objectively. Like, look around you. What do you consider to be good quality, and what do the people around you consider to be good quality? Okay, compare your service with that. Is it matching up? Is it an actual quality service? And the answer for us was yes. Rachel is having testimonials from clients that have come to her with this much hair and I got this much hair, or like, people whose hair is not breaking off anymore, things like that. So we know it's a quality service. It's like, okay, cool. So we researched the prices of people around us. We were like, well, what are people charging for these kinds of services? You have to know the market that you're in, and just know how much these services are typically worth. And so once you do that, you just have to be offering the best quality to people. Thank you. And then in order to charge for it, you have to, 1, know what you should be charging, and 2, to put it frankly, grow the fortitude to charge it.
I feel that.
Be confident in the service that you are providing. Be confident that you are actually able to compete in your field. Not that you really have to, because if your work speaks for itself, it's going to be noticed at some point. But know that when you go into your market, you're not going to just fall to the bottom because it's not the best that you can offer. So once you have that confidence, and it does not come overnight by any means, because there have even been times where we were like, oh, do we charge too much for this? But then we realized we were doing like $20 for trims, which take about 25 minutes and really reset your hair for like the growth and everything of it. And people are out here charging $40 for just a trim. So like we were like, I don't know, are we charging too much? It's like, no, you're doing a great job. You're doing just as great as these other stylists that you admire. And so you don't have to charge as much as that stylist right now, but you're going to charge more than you're charging now because you're not making a profit. It's not, like you said, the numbers are not adding up, and you're not meeting your bottom line.
The numbers were like, we're not adding up.
Yeah.
We need those actual facts.
Yeah.
Not opinionated.
Numbers.
Yeah, it's the numbers. And we were also afraid that we would lose clients. We're like, oh, well, if we increase our prices, we'll lose clients. And the reality is we haven't lost any actually. But if we had lost some, so be it. I'm pretty sure you've seen my TikTok that I shared.
Loved it. Loved it so
And
much.
the truth is, that is how business works. Woo capitalism, right? If you like something, but you feel like you can get it at a better price somewhere else, you are welcome to do it. Because I am confident in the skill and care that's provided at our salon and the quality that's provided at our salon, that I'm not. And that's where you stop competing too. When you stop comparing to everybody else, it's like, sure, you can get it for less somewhere else, but is it going to be the same quality? You can get it for less somewhere else, but you've been getting it for less somewhere else, and that's how you ended up here. So
womp womp womp.
I gotta say though, it's a tricky space to be in, because you want to have that confidence and be like, not even in a cocky, I'm just the best out here. You don't have to be here kind of way. But I respect your decision to receive service from someone else, to spend your money where you want to spend it. That doesn't mean I'm a bad hairstylist or we're bad at business, but this isn't the place for you, and that's okay. Yeah. But it's a tricky space to be in, because you want to charge your worth. But we just, again, being very transparent, we are not in the position to lose clients. No. So in trying to elevate and charge our worth and increase the value of our business, it is very likely that we are going to lose a few, but we're not really in a position to do that. So for anybody, like, depending on whatever area of business you're in, you got to be careful. I don't think that at any point, maybe this is wrong, maybe I'm just not fully, engulfed in business enough to know whether this is true or not, but I feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like we're ever going to have an exact balance of it. So it's a constant struggle, because you don't.
Case by case basis.
Exactly. So, and it's just gonna, like I said, if we were to start charging a certain price for a certain service today, all of our clients are out the door. Now, when we get to the point where it don't really matter, then we can make that kind of drastic change, because we're going to be good whether come or go.
You know what, though? And I've talked to you about this, about the increase in our prices and how things are specifically priced for a reason. But it's part walking in faith and part what can I afford to lose right now? Because I talked to Rachel very transparently the other day. We love transparency, obviously. But I spoke with Rachel the other day about a specific service that went up with that price increase. And I said, this is not the best move for our business. I said, this is your worth, but right now we cannot afford to charge this, because our clients that we're attracting cannot afford to charge this. And while your dream client can afford this, your dream client is not booking this. So I was listening to, I think it was some stylist podcast once or something, and she was talking about, literally, she was talking about this exactly, the confidence to charge your worth, and she was telling people, she was like, you're afraid you're gonna lose clients, and I was like, yeah, and she was like, here's the thing though, you have to increase the prices anyway, because when you lose those clients, you're going to get clients that are going to pay.
You're making way for those that can afford.
And so initially that's how I was thinking of it when we did the specific service, which it's changed now, but with this specific service, I was like, yeah, we're going to attract those clients. But then it clicked to me. I said, our reach is not that far yet. So that's definitely a thing to consider too when charging your worth. Consider your reach, consider your marketing, consider your engagement and your audience. You have to consider the demographic that you have and the demographic that you want. Because we're in kind of a sweet spot right now. We're in between the demographic that we want, and we love the demographic that we have as well. But to attract more of what we want, we need higher presence, and we need more people to just know about us. So it's like, you want to like stay where you are until you can get more people in the chair. But you don't necessarily have to wait until you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
But you do need to make sure that you have certain measures in place.
We just had to pace ourselves, basically.
Yeah,
So a lot of thought, patience, prayer. We don't make rash decisions.
No.
We talk about things a dozen times over before we make a decision. If that's what we have to do, we make the decision, we go back and rethink it and make another decision if we have to. We just try to pace ourselves as much as possible.
Walking by faith, but not walking blindly.
There you go. Exactly.
That on a shirt. All right, we have literally 4 minutes left. Wow, this has been great so far. Any closing comments and statements that you all would like to make? Shout out your business, of course, address and all that stuff.
I'll go ahead and throw in our address and everything. I had a tip for how to prioritize your mental health, because Rachel mostly spoke on that. Mm-hmm. For me, we are kind of having different experiences right now because I have recently started going to therapy, so I'm learning a lot and like into sharing everything that I can. But things that have helped me specifically in our business, and Rachel, knowing how to say no. You don't have to do everything just because there's a price tag attached. Do not do just anything for money. Do not do just anything for money. Do not do just anything for money. If it is compromising your values, compromising your mental health, don't do it. Say no. It's okay. You will have other opportunities. Don't think that anything is your last opportunity for success just because it has a price tag attached.
Yeah, it's not worth your physical health being affected.
Like, don't be out here taking clients when you're sick and just burning yourself out just because it's like, oh, well, it's money, it's for the business. No, don't do that. Because your mental health has to come first. Also, look up I believe it's 4 or 5 communicating styles. Look up the 5 communicating styles, learn your communicating style, and see if there's something that you need to be doing differently to communicate with your audience. Because I realized that I had a very passive communicating style for a while, and it was creating a win-lose situation because the people that I was communicating with were winning, and I was always on the losing end. And I've had to kind of switch it around and become assertive, so it creates a win-win because I'm able to compromise better and things like that. And it really has helped my communication with clients too, because I have to kind of leave them where they are sometimes. Or potential clients, or what would have been potential clients. And like, it's okay. Money isn't everything. And then delegate. Establish people if you can.
That was mine.
Yes. Anything that Rachel is going to stress herself to do, I do it. I would say anything I'm going to stress myself to do, she does it, but she's not as eager as me.
The goal for me, just throwing this out there, is to show up, do the hair, and get out.
I hate hair.
So
pay me enough for this treatment.
So she talks to the client, she does all of that.
To plug ourselves.
My mental health thing is I go to the gym, so that's like my therapy. And
exercise,
I will say
eat
this,
well.
When I start my day at the gym at 5 a.m., my work on my clients is so much better.
It is.
Woo.
And she remembers to shoot content on the days that she goes to the gym because that brain is pumping too. We are located in West Midtown, in a big pretty, there's apartments over us, but there's a big pretty My Salon Suites sign outside. So you won't see a YKR sign, but it does say My Salon Suites.
Not yet.
And we're 1,000.
So not yet.
Not yet. There you go. And we're at 1,000 Northside Drive, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia. 303.
ATL, baby.
We don't know this.
No, I'm pretty sure that's it. But anyway, that's where we're located.
We're like down the street from the Mercedes-Benz station.
Yeah. So our Instagram is at YKR Elite. That's YKR ELITE. And I built us a website. It's www.ykrelite.com. I'm very proud of it. Go check it out. And if you do, sign up for the emails because there's a lot of things that I'm going to be sending to people for the spring and summer, but you're literally not going to know about it unless you're on that email list because
Top secret.
it's top secret. You know, we can't just be putting everything on our Instagram. Y'all are going to get a little taste on the Instagram, but y'all going to get the real deals. You know, y'all just gonna get a little shake of salt on Instagram. The emails is gonna be getting the salt bay, okay?
We love it. We love it. We love it. Yeah. Well, the time is here. As always, it's a pleasure speaking with the both of you. Thank you all for finding the time in your very busy and booked schedule to be on the Kareem Talks podcast. It is an honor.
Thank you so much for having us. I was honored when you asked us to be on the podcast. I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, Kareem must have talked to us. That's crazy.
Oh,
look at little old us.
Right?
Well, this has been another episode of the Kareem Talks podcast. Don't tune in next week because I have a family affair, so there will be no Kareem Talks. See me again on the 4th, the week before WrestleMania, where me and a couple wrestling buddies come and we talk about wrestling because so this has been Kareem Talks. I'm Kareem. That's Kareemah and Rachel. You all have a wonderful Sunday. Peace. See you.